Glittering white marble temples, olive groves, the deep conversations of philosophers. Correct guess. You are in ancient Greece. But wait, this isn't your average history video. Because we are stepping into the sandals of someone who lived the toughest and most intense life of that era, an Athenian citizen. If you were an Athenian for a day, how would your life change? Put modern life aside, no cell phones, no cars, but above all, you have the potential to found the world's first democracy. Does it sound intriguing? Then brace yourself, or rather, put on your hymation. Because we are about to wake up to a morning in 5th century BC Athens. Let's begin. Early hours, an Athenian morning, and the life of the Oikos. You open your eyes, it's 5 a.m. The sun is rising over Athens. Don't worry, you weren't woken by an alarm. Most likely one of our household slaves, or the crow of an outdoor rooster woke us up. You are lucky you are not a slave, because, as an Athenian citizen, let's immediately note this. Slaves, women, and medics, foreign residents, who made up the vast majority of the population, were unfortunately not citizens. Your key difference today comes from being free, male, and Athenian. This means you have all those political rights. You get out of bed. Your home, your Oikos, is not a palace as you might expect. It's a rather modest 2-story structure, enclosed from the outside. The inner courtyard is the center of the home. Your clothes are simple, a chiton for the morning chill and a hymation thrown over it. And breakfast? Don't expect a 3-course rich menu. Life in ancient Greece, especially a man's life, isn't spent eating at home. You need a quick meal. Perhaps something simple like olives, figs, and barley bread dipped in watered-down wine. This light meal will keep you full until the more satisfying meal you'll have later in the day. The women and slaves of the family are already awake, setting the household's daily business in order. Your duty belongs to the world outside the home, the polis. Now you are ready. But where to? Of course, a little exercise first. Pre-noon rush. The gymnasium and the Agora. In ancient Greece, especially in Athens, 2 things were sacred for a man: body and mind. In the first hours of the morning, our stop is usually the gymnasium or the palaestra. Remember, we're not just building muscle here. This is also a place for socializing and even a philosophy hall. Naked, or at least very lightly dressed, perhaps oiled, you wrestle, run, or throw the discus. The foundations of the saying, "a sound mind in a sound body," are laid here. Physical activity is vital for your duty as a hoplite in times of war. You are not just exercising, you are keeping yourself ready for your future military duties. In the meantime, discussions and debates on political and philosophical topics continue. Sport is over. Now it's time to train our minds. We head towards the Agora or marketplace. But this is not just a place for shopping, it is also the city center, an open-air political stage. It's crowded and bustling. What do you do in the Agora? Getting the latest news. While shopping for the needs of your slaves or family, you discuss the city's latest situation, sea trade, or foreign policy with the people around you. This is your newspaper, your social media. Philosophical discussions. Perhaps in every corner there is Socrates or one of his followers, giving knowledge to young students. You might suddenly find yourself debating questions like, what is the good life? Or what is the correct structure of the state? The Agora is where the voices of demagogues and philosophers blend, where the Athenian mind flourished. The midday sun is high. Let's move on to Athens' most important preoccupation, politics. A citizen's sacred duty. The ecclesia and democracy. Are we ready? Here is the pinnacle of being an ancient Greek citizen, democracy. This is the most important duty of your life, the core of your identity. We walk towards Athens' famous Pnix Hill. This is where all free male citizens gather, the meeting place of the assembly of the people, ecclesia. The agenda for the day might include a proposed law, a declaration of war, or an ostracism decision. Perhaps there's a discussion about a new construction project or a law proposal. You are not just the third person watching, you are the power itself. Nowhere else do you have the power to directly determine the fate of an imperial city, even if you are just an ordinary farmer or craftsman. The decision maker. You can step up to the podium and address thousands of fellow citizens defending your opinion. Your voice could not be suppressed. Your skill in the art of rhetoric is your greatest weapon here. Persuading the people is the key to living and rising in Athens. Voting. Decisions were made by raising hands or by writing names on pieces of pottery, ostraka. The will of the majority was implemented instantly and directly. This system of direct democracy places an incredible responsibility upon you. A single wrong vote can drag the entire city into war or financial crisis. This is an incredible responsibility and privilege. The debates and speeches last all day. This is much more personal, much more direct than modern politics. This is why, as an Athenian, a large part of your day is spent preparing for and participating in these discussions. All those gymnasium and Agora conversations were actually preparation for this assembly. To shake off the fatigue of democracy, we need an afternoon cultural break. Afternoon. Culture, art, and craft. The assembly is over, decisions have been made. Now it is time to nourish our soul. If there is no assembly meeting, you might spend your day at the theater. We head towards the Dionysus Theater in Athens. Here, you watch a tragedy by Sophocles or a comedy by Aristophanes. Remember, theater was not just entertainment, it was also a platform where political and moral lessons were given. Art in Athens was almost a civic duty. The plays were a way to honor the gods and to criticize societal issues. You would listen to the city's most important poets and writers here. Alternatively, if you are a craftsman or a merchant citizen, which most were, this part of your day would be spent in your own workshop or shop. Olive oil trade, ceramics making. Being a citizen didn't mean wandering around with philosophers all day. You also had to earn your living. You would run the trade with the help of your slaves and family, contributing to the city's economy. The day has exhausted you physically and spiritually. The sun is about to hide behind the hills. Now it's time to prepare for the most important part of the day, a dinner invitation. Evening, the symposium and farewell. Here we are at the peak of an Athenian Citizens' Day, the Symposium. You have been invited to a friend's house. A symposium is not a simple dinner. This is an event attended only by male citizens, focused less on eating and more on conversation, drinking, and philosophizing. The wine must always be diluted with water, as the goal is not to get drunk but to have deep and meaningful discussions. Only barbarians drank wine undiluted. The eating part is quickly past. The real event begins after the meal. You recline on the cleanai, couches. Setting the agenda. The topic of the night is determined, the nature of love, morality, virtue, or simply the political events of the day. Sometimes riddles are posed among the guests, poems are recited, or hymn-singing competitions are held. Music and entertainment, flute playing, dancing, and games are also part of the symposium. In this environment, the hierarchy loosens up a bit and life is freer. This is the moment when a citizen like you forms real intellectual and social bonds, diving into deep waters. Remember, all these privileges are because you are a citizen. This means both freedom and a great debt to society. The night is late, the symposium is over. You return home and lie down after an exhausting Athenian day. Your head is full of thousands of ideas, current political debates, and perhaps a new philosophical question. Tomorrow is a new day, and the future of the polis will depend on the decisions you make. Conclusion and summary of the day. Wow, that was a day in the life of an Athenian citizen. Let's summarize. Morning. A simple breakfast and training of mind and body at the gymnasium. Noon. Socializing in the Agora and experiencing democracy on Pnix Hill, that is, making decisions firsthand. Evening. Cultural development at the theater and intellectual deepening at the symposium. Now it's time to return to your modern cell phone. What did living in ancient Greece for a day teach us? It showed how limited a group freedom and privilege applied to, but it also showed how great a citizen's responsibility and influence on society could be. The people of that era laid the foundations for today's concept of citizenship. Every decision you made affected the fate of the entire city. That's incredible pressure, isn't it? So, what speech would you have given that day? What law would you have voted for? What caught your attention the most in this epic adventure? Share it with me in the comments. If you enjoyed this virtual time travel, don't forget to follow me for our next stop. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss new adventures. Also, if you want to learn how things would change if you were a slave, let me know in the comments so I can make a video. See you in the next video. Until then, may the wisdom of the ancient world be with you. Take care. Goodbye.